You know, waking up for the first day was exciting. You know, we just felt the energy around the camp. The Gauchos getting their horses ready, us getting our equipment ready and starting to get some of those first images. We were just real excited to get going with the trip.
The Potawi Ranch, where I'm hunting this year, has amazing red stag, water buffalo, fallow deer, but more importantly is that the guys here are bow hunters. So that's really important for me, coming as a bow hunter from the States, to come to a place where the people that are here understand bow hunting. The first day we arrived at the ranch, we got out in the first afternoon, and just from being out in the field for a short time, we realized that the roar was on, our timing was perfect. Just heard our first roar.
I've heard the roar before, and honestly, it never gets old. You know, when you hear that, this is so much different than these other hunts because, you know, instead of waiting quietly and being silent, you're hearing this and there's action. You're just expecting something to happen.
Right at us. It was pretty dense. I thought he was gonna run over us because he had no idea we were there.
You know, being out in the field is tough enough. When you start bringing cameras out and starting to produce a show, that's where the difficulty, at least in my eyes, comes in, because you're constantly thinking about not only keeping yourself active in the field and moving through and all those things, you're also worrying about cameras and you're worrying about microphones and making sure that you're getting all the shots that you need. So it's really, you know, it is a difficult hunt. It's mentally exhausting. It's physically exhausting as well.
The next morning was the one that really was magical. We got out in the field in the dark, and as that sun's coming up, you just heard roars in every direction. We got a stag right up over here, but just waiting for this sun to come a little bigger so we can judge him a little better. But we couldn't have got a better week to be here. This roar is intense. Every person hunting here has just heard stags everywhere. You don't know which way to turn. It's pretty thick and tough to get to them, but you can definitely hear them. I can't explain it unless you were there to experience it with me, because we had no idea what direction to turn. That's how many stags were in that area. That tree is 50 yards, I think. Dude, that was close. I mean, you're walking through here and we could hear him. We just hear his grunts. And we're following it. There was just no shot. He looked right at us. But it's still cool to stalk in that close. We were within 30 yards of him. I just had the head and neck, but we seen the rack, so that was cool, man. Nice way to end the morning. Dude.
Although we've been hearing the stags all day, actually getting the chance to capture one on camera by the end of the day was just awesome and really made the day worthwhile.
It seemed like in the afternoons the activity slowed, and we had run into a few water buffalo while we were hunting stag that morning. So we decided that maybe in the afternoon, since it was going to be a little slower with the stags, we would go after the water buffalo.
Yeah, so with the water buffalo, you know, my dad crawled in and he had asked us to stay back and capture the thing from far away. So just to see that, and you know, it always amazes me to see how a bow and arrow can take down an animal of that size.
We did get within 60 yards of this buffalo. and I did get my shot off. We did recover the buffalo that night. It was just an amazing hunt to watch an animal of that size be brought down with an arrow. I was thinking that most of these stag would look for cover in the afternoon to get out of that midday sun. We happened to be glassing out across this field and had to be 400 or 500 yards from where we were, and my guide spotted a stag that was bedded up under a tree. Now this was the same situation with the buffalo, except the buffalo really doesn't run off because he has no natural predators here, but the stag was not going to tolerate us stalking in on him. So it just really had to be stealthy, and we had to take our time making the stalk.
You know, hunting all week and not closing the deal on the stag definitely put pressure on us. But you know, it just made us that much more determined to continue and make sure that we were on our game so that when we did have that opportunity, we were able to capture the moment.
All right, I can see the stag. He's about 150 yards from here, so I'm gonna leave my cameraman, my guide here. They can stay here because there's just no way of getting 3 guys across this field. I think I can get as close as possible. This grass is pretty tall. I crouch down, I think I can get in on him. I'll just see how close I may get a shot. We got to about 150 yards from this stag, just crouching down, crawling when necessary, stopping so that he would feel comfortable where he was. You know, I've seen this with whitetail where they bed out in a small piece of timber in the middle of a field where you'd say there's really no reason why they're there, except they can sense danger. They can smell it or see it from anywhere around them. It's really hard to get in on an animal like that. I got to within 68 yards of the stag, and I'm glassing him, and I noticed that his head's facing the opposite direction. He has no idea I'm there. Now look, these are shots that I practice all the time. 68 yards, when you're shooting at something the size of a $50, hitting a kill zone on a stag is not as difficult as you would think it is. I know some people think that 68 yards is a long shot, but you need to practice it. It's an ethical shot. And when you're hunting on a spot and stalk in open grasslands, you need to definitely be able to shoot 60 yards plus. I was over the tall grass, I took the shot, watched him crest the hill, and we let him lay up for the next hour or so. I tell you what, we walked up there, he was bedded up under a tree, and it was a lifelong dream of mine to harvest a red stag with a bow. Well, we've been chasing stags for a few days now, and very, very difficult to get in on them. Well, I happened to see this one stag bed up in this field, and we've been waiting all afternoon to get on him. It's a wide open field, similar situation to what I had with the water buffalo. But I crawled my way in. I left my cameraman back. There was just no way of getting 2 of us in. But I got a good shot at 68 yards on him. And I think we got good blood. And I'm hoping he doesn't go real far, and we're not going to push him, but we saw the direction he headed, so we're going to try to get on him. He was everything I could have ever asked for in a stag. And you know, I was here 6 years ago and didn't get it done with a bow. So there's things in your life, like I guess you call them a bucket list, but they're things that you want to accomplish as a hunter, just as a person. And one of the things for me as a bow hunter was to take a red stag down in Argentina with my bow. Well, here he is, man. I'm so proud and humbled at this, but to get my hands on a free-range stag of this caliber, 12 point like this, double crowns, just a fantastic animal. And to do it with my new bow, it's a pretty special moment. I think of all the hunts that I've been on, this will take its place near the top of the list. And it wasn't just because of the hunting, you know. We get to experience a place like Buenos Aires and all the culture that's there, and then go to a ranch like the Portahowie Ranch that's been there for such a long time, experience that European culture, being surrounded by great people, you know, to be on a working ranch, to be part of their culture, to be part of their daily activity, and to get to hunt some great animals. It's just an experience that I think every hunter should have.